Hey everyone, this is another episode of Breaking News with Bay. I wanted to talk about silicone versus saline versus structured or an ideal implant. You have three different options now with breast augmentation. Not really going to get into shape versus round. That's like another subset, and we have other videos based on that. But I just want to talk about the three broad categories. Got your silicone, got your saline, and then structured, which there's really only one brand that is a structured implant. That's the ideal implant. We'll get to that in a second. But anyway, with silicone, that's kind of what you've heard about already. It's silicone, it's got a nice feel. Most women feel like that's the most natural feel that they have with any implant is that silicone. If it gets a hole in it, it doesn't really spill out. You can see here how when you squeeze it, the gel comes out. When you release it, it goes back in. It doesn't spill everywhere like a liquid like the older implants. So silicone implants are really nice. People like them, a little more expensive. Then you have the saline implants, which is just a silicone shell, still silicone on the outside, and on the inside it's a saline fill. And so if that gets a hole in it, it can just deflate, whereas with silicone, it may keep its shape. And then saline implants, they have more rippling around the sides, which women have noticed more with saline versus silicone. It's nothing really bad, it's just kind of an appearance that maybe you can see in a bikini top. And then the third type is a structured implant. That just means it's got a silicone shell, and then on the inside it's got multiple other silicone shells, but it's actually filled with saline. So it's not really silicone, it's not really saline, but as you can see in this demonstration, that if you put an ideal implant, which is the structured implant, underneath a washcloth or a blanket with a silicone implant, and you squeeze both of them, they actually feel very similar. We actually have patients who come in and squeeze them both under this cloth, and then they can feel, and we ask them to determine whether they can tell if it's silicone or the ideal structured implant, which is filled with saline. And most of the times they can tell which one's the silicone versus the ideal structured implant, but sometimes it's a lot harder for them to determine whether it is silicone versus the structured implant, even though eventually they guess correctly that which one is the silicone implant. So anyway, you've got all three options: silicone versus saline versus structured ideal implant. You can check pricing on our website, realdrbay.com/pricing, and hopefully that'll be very useful for you if you are considering breast augmentation. If you have any other questions or you have other topics you want us to discuss, just leave those below in the comments section. And that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching.